Procrastination. When your bedroom looks like this, you're moving on Friday and you decide to deal with all of these before you even start to pack. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila and this is Jamila Creates, where we make beautiful things. This week I am procrastinating, hence the title Procrastination. I thought it was clever for that. So we're going to be doing a few things. We're going to be using fabric softener and acrylic paint to paint on fabric. I want to see if this works because I gave someone some advice a little while ago that I don't really love, you know. Like I told her, oh, you can use this medium and it'll make your regular dollar store paint fabric paint, which is true. But I want to see if we can do that for a little bit cheaper. So I'm gonna try that. We're gonna finish these shoes that I've been working on since February. Yeah, that one got away from me there. We're gonna paint this little guy that I got from the thrift store. And anything else I can think of before I start packing. So let's start. Alright, so this is my first project. First things first is I'm sanding down the ceramic dog so that my acrylic paint can have something to stick to. I'd like to point out the irony of me editing this video on Wednesday night when I'm supposed to be packing. Procrastination. Anyway, I'm just continuing to sand down the dog, and then I'm going to take a damp paper towel or something and just wipe it down so that the stuff that's come off the ceramic doesn't get in the way. This is ceramic, so a lot of dust stuff comes up when you sand, so it's important to wipe it down so that your space is clean when you decide to paint. So I'm just continuing to wipe it down. This, by the way, I got from Scrap Exchange in Raleigh. They have some neat, they're in Durham, but you can get it at Scrap Exchange in Durham. They have some neat stuff. You should check them out sometime. And this is really an in-piece in home decor right now, so that's why I'm doing it. So this is my first layer of paint. I really should have gessoed this, but I didn't have gesso, which it's not like I was at Scrap Exchange earlier in that day and could have easily gotten gesso, but I didn't. I should have at least used white paint so I wouldn't have to do as many layers, but I ended up doing this one coat of shiny metallic paint instead, and this was a pain to get, so after my first layer I realized I really didn't want to waste this, so I ended up using dollar store paint in blue until I was sure the shamrocks were covered up, and then I went back to the shade of metallic aquamarine. And I'm just being careful here to get into every little nook and cranny. I used a large paintbrush for this, but I also used some sponges for some layers. It's important to just keep applying layers, keep trying, etc., etc. So here I'm just trying to get it to dry a little bit faster. I don't have a heat gun, so I'm using a hairdryer. I did this for most of these layers, but I would suggest a heat gun or maybe nothing at all. Try to keep it on low heat, by the way. Okay, so this is the other shade of blue paint, the non-metallic cheapo stuff from Dollar Tree. I'm not going to show you all of my layers of doing it. I just put as many layers of paint on as needed. It was about 8, just to cover up those shamrocks. And then I went back in with 3 or 4 layers of the metallic paint. I'll show y'all my first and maybe last layers of metallic paint, and then I waited overnight to put on the glaze, and then I waited a long time between layers of that too, just because I didn't want to ruin anything with that, and I made sure that was a shiny satin glaze. This is what it looked like when I finished putting on all the coats of blue. Now I'm going with my first coat of metallic paint, and I'm starting with the bottom because it's easier to have grip on the neck of the little thing, and then I'm just painting my paint around there. And that's how I do it for all of these. I'll let you see the rest of this layer, and then I'll show you the last layer and the glaze. So for my last layer, I decided to use a sponge brush just to test out a different way of doing things because I was noticing it was getting a little bit streaky. So here I am, hopefully on camera at some point. Sorry about that. Here I am just trying to get all the color onto the little balloon guy. Now I'm just adding on the glaze. I'm only going to show you this one for the little dog. I'll show you the result at the end. But yeah, I'm just going to be glazing every few hours or so. You can see that I had left it overnight though, to make sure that the metallic paint really dried. You can see that, excuse me, because I'm no longer wearing my fake nails. I'll show y'all the process of when I finally snapped and had to take them out. But yeah. This is how you glaze the little dog. I also did a couple layers with a brush going in the opposite way once the foam brush kind of crapped out on me.
Alright, project 2. We have these shoes here. I technically have been working on these since February. The reason I never really get around to them was I had trouble with the shoe goo. And then I got angry and rage quit. Maybe I had trouble with the shoe goo, and I don't know. I just kind of lost interest as I had other things going on that I was excited about, and I did those instead. Now, I hate these nails. Have I mentioned how much I hate these nails? I haven't had time to get rid of them yet. So yeah, this was supposed to be a full-length tutorial, but instead I'm just going to pop in what I did real quick. and now that we are up to speed, I'm going to finish around the back here, around the top here, but these can't be done at the same time. Oh, that's right, that's why I lost interest, I got impatient. So I'm going to do the underside first, and while I'm doing that, I might take a layer of shoe goo to the rest of it. But first I gotta open this. Here's a little hack for if the glue thing sticks. Plastic wrap.
So now I have a nice thick layer of shoe goo on my popsicle stick, and I'm just applying that and spreading it around the inside of the strap. I'm doing the inside first, so I'll have a better grip on it later. For this, I'm just covering the whole shoe in shoe goo for a sealant. I'm only getting one layer down though before the move because I'm afraid of it getting smudged or ruined. But after the move, I'm going to be completing this. So this is just the one layer for Procrastination today. Quick break because I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to get my nails off. This is how you take off nails that have been glued on. You just soak your hand in water, warm water for 20 minutes, and then you can take them off via the sides of the nails. So yeah, I just couldn't take it anymore, so I had to get them off.
So next I'm going to go through my sewing box, throwing away things as needed. And that's because I'm going to dip into these. And, sorry, too close. In just a second for my next Procrastinating. So these pants. I love them, but I hate them. They fit, but right here, you know how something like this, a zipper, it defies gravity by zipping up. The point is to cinch in the waist. It won't stay like this because there's no clip or anything to make it to push these together while you're zipping. So you have to have like 3 hands to be able to get it. Granted, of course, when there's no resistance, it goes up fine. Granted, when I was trying it on, there's a loose thread here, it's driving me nuts. When I was trying it on yesterday, and it made me so mad, I had those horrid fake nails you saw earlier, and they didn't help, to be honest. I ended up safety pinning it on myself. The nails didn't help, but I think it's time to put a hook and eye inside, like how it should have been made in the first place.
So I'm just getting out my thread and my needle and attaching that. I'm doing the method where you have 2 pieces of thread, so you kind of fold it in half and then string it through the eye of the needle. That way it's just a little bit more secure. So right now I'm messing with that. You can see me cutting with my tiny scissors, and now I'm getting out the hook and eyes. I'm trying to do it in a way where I can show y'all, but I'm not sure how well it comes out on camera. And I'm just hand stitching those in there. I ended up doing 2 hooks and 2 eyes just because it feels a little bit more sturdy. There was also a part of it, of the waistband, that was falling apart, probably because it was being so hard to take on and off, and I was pulling at it so much. So I fixed that while I was there as well. well, the eyes ended up being matched up with the hooks. I actually zipped up the zipper, put the hooks on the eyes, and then just folded it out so that I would know that they would line up. And then I held it like that. This was really uncomfortable for my thumb, but I held it like that for the whole time while I was sewing them in until I had a really good grip on it.
Alright, and here it is. I'm not going to try it on because if I did it wrong, I don't want to have to fix it right now. I hate doing alterations. I mean, I do them because I can sew, but I hate doing them, so we're just going to pretend like I tried them on. I'm at least going to test it. It should be pretty strong. I went over it probably more than I had to, which took some extra time, but that's okay. They get in the way a little bit of zipping it up. However, I don't know. It's usually hard to get to this point. I have to, ironically, unhook that to sew this up, but it doesn't seem to like having hook and eyes. I would honestly be fine with it like this too, even if it's not zipped all the way up, because anything to just stop it from falling off of me would be nice. So that project's down. We interrupt this episode of Procrastination to bring you a complaint, an organizational complaint. I've been looking for these for 6 months. I literally had a project where I needed this, or possibly this, and I put it off for 6 months because I didn't have the bright little hole things. They were in a tote buried in the back of my closet this whole time. When I move, I'm gonna have to reorganize everything craft-wise again. Alright, so this is our last project, and it is this is our last Procrastinating, and it is all about trying to paint on fabric with a mixture of fabric softener and regular paint. So I'm doing this out of order, where I'm just going to paint this design because it's been in my head and I really want to do it. And then I'm going to be taking some swatches of purple and white knit and seeing how this method compares to fabric paint, traditional fabric paint, and also testing how it'll work on a metallic paint because I'm curious and I have some left over from the little dog earlier. This is my picture that I drew for reference, and I have another reference under here. This fabric that I chose, this white fabric, is really thin, so hopefully I'll still be able to see what I'm doing. I have every color I need out here. I have 6 palettes containing 6 empty bits, that being the technical term for it, of course. So I think that'll be enough. I know that'll be enough. I don't even have to do the math on it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shades of beige, black, 2 shades of blue, 2 shades of yellow, 1 red, 1 white, and 1 off-white. So it should be enough. Should get my paints. I have a packet here. I have some here. No, those are my testers. The packet here, I have blue and red here. I am running out of space for my computer. I like to entertain myself as I do these things. I have a little bit of yellow here. I'm thinking these paint palettes will not hold much at all. So I'm thinking I'm going to start out with a base color for her face and hand. And I'm not sure there'll be room to do blush. And then go from there. Hopefully they'll still show up. Oh, and I have this blue. It's a lot of blue. I bought the other blue without thinking that I already had blue. So I'm going to start and see how this goes.
Say that this is where I decided to use a toothpick for the fine details of the outlines and little black irises and things like that, and also the outlines in brown and the eye, like in the middle. Um, I also want to say, and this pertains more to the next clip that I'm putting together, but it's all the same. Um, so this is where it starts to get away from me a little bit. I am not good at lettering, but I should have at least been able to tell that the word pissed has more letters in it than the word bee. So instead of spacing it like I did in the reference picture, you'll see it kind of falls off the page. But that's the least of my problems with this design, unfortunately. Yeah.
base. I'm going to leave that overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to put some interfacing on that just to make it strong enough to go on something. Although, looking at it now, I feel like I should just upload the original picture because it looks a lot better. So I might do that instead. Or I might do both, just in case. And then I'm going to heat set all of these in the morning, give them time to dry. And then I'll run them through the washing machine on the lowest, easiest setting. And I'll only dry them if none of them fade, then I might dry them. And we will test how that looks tomorrow, and I'll show y'all the result. Oh, one more thing. I'm not going to show it on video because I don't feel like it, but when you're heat setting fabric, it really just depends on the fabric, but you just put your iron on it. It doesn't have to be on there for very long. Make sure to put parchment paper or a scrap piece of fabric between your iron and what you're heat setting. Alright, that was my last project. I'll show y'all the results tomorrow, and then I'll actually get on to packing. Procrastination. That's it, yes, procrastination. Update before I iron this. I took it off of the tape and template. This is what that looks like because it kind of bled through. I hate this. I hate everything about this. Look at how this bled. What the F? Is it even dry? It is dry, but first of all, my letter kerning was bad. It was bad. And the letters are way too big, and the lady is too small, and the middle finger thing isn't working. Honestly, I already took a picture of the one that I sketched earlier, and I'm just gonna put that on some transfer paper, maybe do a new one in Illustrator. I think I would have benefited from not using words and making it a little bit bigger, but here we are. So what I'm gonna do is just place this fabric on top of it, iron it for a few seconds, and that should seal it. Not that I'm gonna put it on anything, but at this point, this is a test. And painting it was kind of a fun procrastination. I'm gonna do the same thing with my little test pieces, and we'll see how they look after they're through the wash. Alright, so I just got these out of the wash. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but here is how the face turned out. Yeah, guys, what the hell is this? It's so bad. Where did the yellow... Okay, you can kind of see where her face used to be. Flip it over. Yeah. But, this is terrible. I think I may have tried something a little bit too, complex for what the paints can handle. Let's take a look at our swatches. Alright. These fared much better. I also added a marker swatch. On this one, it's just black, but on the purple one, I have a white marker too. I just figured it wouldn't show up on this. The white paint is gone, but that makes sense. The metallic paint is a disaster, but hey, no one ever promised anything with that. Everything else looks fine. I mean, the mustard yellow was kind of gold before, but other than that... And yeah, I'm stretching them right now, and the only thing that's happening is some grossness with the metallic paint. If you're going to do this hack, don't use a complex design on woven fabric. I think, too, this was too shiny and satiny, and that's part of the problem. But if you're going to do this, definitely more of a t-shirt material. I should have tested it out on jeans. That would have been nice. But yeah, definitely use more of a t-shirt material, and it shows up the best on white, I think. Yeah, it shows up better than marker. Just don't do anything too complex or small, and don't use metallic paint. Alright, That's the white, and this is the purple. Again, this not great. And actually, none of these swatches are really great. For something like this, I would say use white fabric paint and then paint over your colors, because that's kind of what happened there. But that having been said, unless some major new development comes when I throw these in the dryer, this is going to be the end of my video. So this has been my procrastination. Time to pack for my moving in like 3 days. Bye!
Pop it back in here because I forgot to put the end results in. Here you go. Also, y'all, thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. I mean, I had like 5 crafts in there, so hopefully that made up for the quick form. I have one more video that I have to post soon, and then I'm out of pre-made crafts, and sewing, but I will get back to it as soon as I can. I'm moving this Friday. As of recording this, it's Wednesday the 17th, so I'm moving on the 19th, so I might be delayed for a little while, but I'll try to get videos out as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share with your friends, etc., etc. I'm so happy to have you here and watching my videos, so thanks everyone. Until next time, happy procrastinating and crafting. Happy procrastinating.